How's it going, guys? So today what I'm actually talking about is how I was able to make $20,000 in a month and a half. You see, I know this title says in a month, but it actually took a month and a half. You know, it's just better for the title and whatnot. So how I made this, I didn't use any of my money. This business is completely like a low startup business. Anyone can do it as long as you put in the work and the grind. And I live in one of the most competitive cities in the world, which is Los Angeles. All right, and I'm gonna tell you exactly how I was able to, you know, creep in and get myself, you know, $20,000. Okay, so how do we do it? What avenue do we pick? You know, there's so many avenues of how to make money. We did it through real estate. All right, and a lot of people know about this. A lot of people might not know, but how we made it is we wholesaled the property. We wholesaled a house, and what that actually means is you don't use any of your credit, you don't use any of your money. What you basically do is you pose as a buyer. You know, go up to a motivated seller, someone that's very motivated. You just tell them that you'll pay a specific price for their property, and then you just resell. You get it under contract, and you resell that contract to a cash buyer with you just make whatever spread that you want. We did it 20K. Okay, so I just want to explain exactly how we're able to pull that off, right? And how we did it in the most competitive market in, you know, the world. All right, so the way we did is, first things first, we needed to find a distressed property. You know, we didn't want to go for the brand new properties. We wanted to get the distressed ones. And another thing is that we didn't want to do it in LA, downtown LA, because anyone that wholesales property in Cali or does real estate knows that downtown LA is crazy competitive. So what I decided to do is like, you know what, let's branch out a little bit. You know, let's go an hour, 45 minutes away from LA and do one of those markets where it's not super competitive, where we could put our foot in the door, you know, where we can actually compete. All right, we go in and we find a small town. And what we do, since we didn't have a lot of money for marketing, you know, you could do, you know, Facebook ads, mailers, but that actually costs so much money to actually, you know, to implement and to actually get a return on your investment. So we did it the old fashioned way, and we just drove around neighborhoods, which is called driving for dollars. And we just drove trying to find distressed looking properties. So anything that looked distressed, if it had a messed up roof, if the lawn was overgrown, we just wrote that address down. And, you know, we went home and then just skip traced it and called up the owners and asked them, hey, you know, would you be interested in offering the property? So we found this one property, right? It was fire damaged. When we were driving, we literally seen, you know, the roof was like there was a fire. So we're like, you know what? Like I even said this, I was with my partner. I looked at that property and I was like, man, this is the one right here. This is the one. This is the one. This is gonna be the big check, you know. And I truly believed it, you know. I was like, yeah, this is gonna be the one. We go, we skip trace, we get about 300 properties. We just drove around. We literally did 8-hour days, just driving, just up and down the street, writing down properties, distressed looking, you know, just trying to, you know, just, you know the deal. So we go, we find this, you know, we go. And the thing about real estate, you can't get 1 or 2 properties distressed, you know, you got to get like hundreds so you can make sure that you're going to get a deal. We go, skip trace this list. We used a specific skip tracer. I'll put the link in the bio if you guys, any wholesalers watching this and want to use my softwares that I use, I'll put it in the bio, which was, okay, and I just, you know, all right, so. So we go, we skip trace this list, and we just start calling, you know. We just start calling these guys up, asking for offers. A lot of people said no, and that's just the thing, you know. If anyone that's an entrepreneur, you're gonna get a lot of no's, just any business you do. So we go and we finally talk to this one seller. His name was Lewis. We call up Lewis and we're like, hey, you know, we're really interested in this property. We seen that it was a fire damage. Would you be interested in an offer on it? He goes, he's like, you know what? He's retired. I don't want to say what he does, but he was retired, and he was like, you know what? I was thinking about it. You know, I got my insurance check, you know, and I just don't really want to deal with this property. We're like, you know what? Let us deal with it. We actually do this for a living. We buy and sell houses, you know. So just let us deal with it. Let's make an offer, and then, you know, and if you accept, then this, you know, you don't have to worry about refixing the property up, because obviously it was fire damage, right? he's like, all right, run your comps and then give me a call back. We run our comps, and the houses in that area are usually selling for $230,000, all fixed up, perfect condition, right? And so we're like, man, we got to get this thing low, because obviously it's fire damage. We take a look inside, it's just to the skeleton. It's just a skeleton house. There's nothing in there. So we're like, man, we got to get this really super duper low. We go in, do our comps, and we're like, man, we want a big spread on this. And so we go low. We go down and make them an initial offer of $20,000 on this property. Guy literally hangs up on the phone. He's like, you know what? He's like, I can't do that, and just hangs up, right? So then we're like, damn, we just lost this. We just lost this guy, you know? Like, this was the one, and we just lost it. Well, you know what? Let's just call him back and, you know, just ask him, how close could you get to that number? So we call him back. We're like, hey man, we didn't want to offend you with that number. It's just, you know, that's a good number for us to make a profit. You know, we're gonna be doing a lot of work. You know, that's the reason we came so low. He's like, how close can you get to that number? We said 20K, right? He goes up, he says, you know what, $40,000 and it's yours. Us, we probably should have just took that, but we're like, you know what, we can't do 40,000. But how about we just meet in the middle, 30,000. We pay closing costs, we'll take care of everything. You know, like, you don't have to worry about anything. You literally get a net offer of 30,000 straight to you. He's thinking about it. He's like, agrees, says yes. We're like, all right. So we're like, all right, let's send you over the contract. We'll get this all settled. So like I was saying, yeah, we send him over the contract, make sure everything, he signs it. Actually, no, we sent over the contract via email, but he's an old school guy. He doesn't even deal with email. So he was like, no, we're gonna have to do this in person. Mind you that we had to drive. We drove like really far to actually, you know, find these properties. So we had to meet them at the town. So we had to make a drive, and we got it signed in the Starbucks for 30,000. You know, go. And we flip the property we sell it to an investor for 50,000. We could have went higher. But we just, you know, we just wanted to sell it, because at a point it was getting stressful. So a lot of people weren't budging, going higher. So then I finally found this gentleman, and we told him we have an initial offer. 45,000. If you could we had it locked down for 40. We had a serious buyer that was going to pay 45,000 cash for this property. But then this other guy called me last minute, and then he was like, "Hey, do you still have the property?" And then, you know, 15,000 at that point was going to be our, which is going to be the profit. And he calls me on the phone. He's like, "Yo, do you still have the property?" We're like, "Look, we have it. We have a serious buyer for 15,000. You do 20,000. I'll cut that buyer off and give it to you. Let's do it. You know, send me the contract, and I'll put in the earnest deposit. You know." And we're like, "All right, we're asking for 5K earnest deposit. We make sure we go high earnest, so if he backs out, you know, for any specific reason." But he was very honest. He was probably the best buyer that I ever worked with, so it wasn't no problem. But yeah, he put in that 5K deposit. We were set. But the thing about this deal this is the crazy part about it, guys, which I want to mention, is that the buyer almost backed out last minute. All right, so the seller almost backed out last minute. It was crazy. So the seller, the person we're buying the property from, and we're gonna flip that property to the buyer, he's retired, so he goes on vacations. Man, it was hard to get in contact with him. He was on vacation every other week. Man, he was just, every time we called him, he was in a different state, different places. He was just everywhere. So then the day of closing, right, we're gonna send him a mobile notary to get this thing closed and official, you know, so you can sign the closing documents. That day, he calls us up, and he's like, "Hey guys, you know, I was thinking about it, and I actually want to push back the closing documents to October." It was like March, and we're just like, "Oh heck no!" Like, we wanted to get paid, you know. We knew that we're gonna get a 20K, you know, a deal off this. So we're just like, "Oh no, I can't believe it! This guy's literally gonna flake on us last minute." He hangs up the phone. I'm thinking like, man, we're done. Damn, like, I literally had no money in my pocket. Like, that was the deal. That was, you know, like I literally was living off of my last dollars off that point. Calls back 5 minutes later. He says, man, I just talked to my wife. She wants this thing done. She doesn't want to deal with it no more. Send a notary. Go, send a notary, get that signed. Boom, you know, a couple days later, we get a check. And that's it, guys. That's how we got our 20K deal. You know, I just wanted to explain the little process, exactly what we did. So yeah, so if you guys have any questions, I mean, if you guys even want to know more about the process, exactly how to do it or whatnot, just go ahead and just leave a comment below, or just check me out on my Instagram. My Instagram name is AKADBOI. So yeah, any other questions, guys, just hit me up. Or if you guys want me to talk about anything else, just let me know. All right, peace.